I worked at I got home in 46, February of 46. I had 3 years then, back in 5 days. At 3 years in the service, and got in with the Lesotho Tool Company, and I sold tools for a while, and then that wasn't too long after that. I was home several months, and then that's when I met my future wife at that time. And so in 1947, November 9th of 47, why I married my wife Lois, and so then at that time we were selling tools, still selling tools at that time, and so I really more or less did selling the rest of my life, you might say, so after I was working for Rolls Purina Company for about 9 years, and then I went into the insurance business, and with a company that was in Iowa. I was in the office at Sioux City, Iowa, and then from there I was sent out to Indiana to open up the state of Indiana for this company that I worked for. And I opened up the company, and then they transferred me back to Des Moines, Iowa, where we spent a year and a half in Des Moines. We were only in Indiana about a year and a half also. And then I transferred then to Lincoln, Nebraska. And then I went to work for a company called People's Accident Insurance Company, which after 9 years was sold. And so that's when I went with AFLAC, which is the American Family Life Insurance Corporation, and been with them ever since, and that's 30-some years ago. So here I am. And that's about the gist of the whole works. The medals that you was wondering about on the that I had here are, of course, this is the Silver Star. This is the one I'm most proud of, because that's for gallantry in action, and there aren't a lot of those that they give out. This is the Bronze Star, which is when I took the troops from the troops when I had to go across and get with the 1st Cavalry, because it was in a mining section. They had mines out there, so it was a little hazardous going across there, but we made it, didn't have any problem. And that's when I received the Bronze Star. Well, I've got actually about 3 Bronze Stars, because when instead of giving you another one, you get an oak leaf cluster, which they put on the ribbon. And these ribbons that you see over here go along with that. That's your Silver Star, and of course your Bronze. Well, here's like Silver Star, your Bronze Star. That's the Purple Heart here, and that's a liberation. And there's an Asiatic and Pacific ribbon, which is also in here. This is a presidential citation. Our whole outfit got this, so it wasn't anything that I did alone. But that's called a presidential citation. These go along with these ribbons that you see here for the Liberation Medal. There's also there's a Good Conduct Medal here. I'm not too sure. That's just a replica of these other ribbons. Of course, this is the wings here, the parachute wings, and that was when I got my field commission. Was the ribbon for that, and anyway, this of course was our emblem here, and this was 11th Airborne Division, which was to me was probably the finest division going today, and I'm a little prejudiced too. But anyhow, that's my story, and here we are today. Now, did you have some other questions that you want to ask?
Yes. Okay. So what was your branch of service like?
Mine was actually called the Army, but I was with the paratroops, which was the 11th Airborne Division. That was our division. In our division, we had, like the 511th was the Parachute Infantry Regiment, but we also had the gliders. There were 2 divisions, or 2 regiments of gliders within the 11th Division. We didn't get in on that. That was a separate unit that we had no control over that, except the division did.
Do you remember where you were December 7th, 1941?
Yeah, I was in Albert Lee, Minnesota, just coming up, driving up to Broadway, and when we got the news, yeah. Yeah, I was over. I was in Japan.
Oh, you were. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Cool. What was your most memorable experience when you were in war, when you served?
My most memorable. Oh, well, I probably was most relieved and pleased with our taking of the Clark's airstrip because we lost an awful lot of men at that time, but to secure it was probably as main of issue of the war as you could find in the Pacific. Now, you know.
How did you pass the time? Like, what did you do for recreation?
Well, we played a lot of softball. I played a lot of softball over there. We played other outfits at that time, and of course, we always had calisthenics every morning. In fact, one morning we got so sick and tired of taking calisthenics that when I lined the men up out there, I said, "Well, now today we're going to do eyeball exercises." I says, "The count of one, place your hands behind your head, fingers laced." I said, and then now at the count of two, move your eyes to the right, count of three to the left, count of four, recover, and start over again. And then about that time, the captain come walking down, and he just looked over and grinned at us because he knew it was getting awful tired of calisthenics.
How did you stay in touch with the people at your home and your brothers? Because I know they were in the war as well.
Pardon, how did I what?
How did you keep in touch with your family?
Well, just of course, you had what they call a military letter. And we would correspond. You know, it took a long time for letters to sometimes get back and forth. And then when, of course, my mother was alive at that time, and so she would of course send letters to me. Yeah, that's how we did it. Mm-hmm.
How did you celebrate the holidays when you were over there, like Christmas and?
Well, like Easter, for example, we would have what they call a sunrise service. And we'd meet out on some big hill, and which was very, very. It was kind of tough to take sometime, but it was nice. It was really nice. So just things like that. If it happened to be 4th of July, I suppose we probably had some firing squads and stuff like that. I don't recall all of that. There's several things I don't remember over there.
Yeah. If you made any close friends there, do you still keep in touch with them?
Oh yes, we have, and up until about 3 years ago, we had company reunions just about every year, and we would meet different places, east and west coast, and south. Yeah, and we still do because Christmas. I don't write them any Christmas cards anymore. I call them on the phone. I just talk to them personally. Yeah.
Are you a member of any veterans or organizations? Or
I was a member of the VFW and excuse me, and the American Legion. Excuse me, I'm not a member of any of them now because we don't have a actual Legion post there in Lincoln anymore.
I guess that's it.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
You mean I can quit now?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice of you though to ask those questions. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much for doing
Well, then thank you for doing it. You bet.
I know it must be hard to remember all that stuff when you know.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't tell you, Kira, but yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Glad to do it. Now I'll take that beer.